Hey everyone, my name's Jeff, and in today's video I want to show you how you can do a replacement on your Andersen window, casement window crank. Now, even if you don't have an Andersen window, the process is going to be very similar to what I'm doing in this video, and even Andersen makes different cranks for different windows, so yours may not be exactly the same. You're going to want to make sure you check the part number, which I'll show you how to find here shortly. For this project, I would recommend if you've got a flat head crowbar, you're going to want some sort of a Phillips screwdriver. I actually have a driver with a Phillips head in it, made the project go much quicker. And depending on how stripped the either the handle or the gears are inside the crank box, you may need a pair of pliers and maybe some gloves just to save your hands from either wear and tear or getting clinched. So two reasons why your window crank may no longer be working is one, the handle itself is stripped, and two, it might be the gears inside the crank box itself. First thing we're going to want to try here is to unlock the window. And then from this point, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can crank open the window. So as I'm turning, you can see the handle here is sliding and it's not actually going anywhere, but if I press in on it and try and give it a little bit of force, it is eventually starting to turn. So if yours is not cranking at all, you may need to see if you can get in there with some pliers. If your gears are stripped, you may want to just slowly try and work the window open. You need to get behind it so that you can detach the old crank portion. So to remove the handle itself, I have a Phillips screwdriver, and there's a screw on the inside right here. I'll show you once I get it off, but I'm going to get the screwdriver in there and start loosening up that screw. So this is the screw that I was loosening, and in looking at the inside, I can still see a bunch of ridges on the handle, so I don't think the handle is my problem. I think it's inside the gears of the crank. Next, let's get to that. So with the handle off, there's actually a cover minus plastic that just pops off of the actual crank itself. And now you can see the crank itself right here. The next thing is you need to get access to the rest of it, which is actually hiding under this piece of wood. Now I can't do anything with this piece of wood until I take the screen out. So in order to pop the screen out, there are two clips, one on this side and one over here. And once those are open, now that gives me access to pull the screen out. Oh, this screen is dirty. Luckily, I've done a whole video that's real quick and easy on how to quick and easy clean screens. You can check that out at the end of this video or down in the video description. So with my screen out, now I've got access to this piece of wood right here. I'm going to grab a crowbar, and I'm very gently, you want to be careful because you don't want to break this, otherwise it's not going to look good. But you want to use something like a really flat crowbar. Start just very gently getting underneath this piece of wood and starting to just kind of shimmy it up. Ideally, it's going to pop straight up. And real quick, a big shout out to Gary Mason 7927, one of our recent viewers, to find Tinker in one of our videos. So Tinker is this little robot that we hide in all the videos on this channel. He's just like the guy that's on my t-shirt here, and he briefly pops up in every video on this channel. If you happen to spot Tinker, take note of the timestamp. That is the amount of time into this video that he pops up, and you might be like Gary, where I'm giving you a shout out in one of my future videos, as well as we will add your name to our Tinker Forward Hall of Fame page. So I'm able to just pull this piece of wood up. Now you want to be careful, mine has two nails underneath, so you may also want to wear some gloves while doing this. I'm going to set this to the side. So now we've gotten down to the crank itself with the arm. There's three screws holding this guy in, one here, one down in the middle there, and one here. So with a Phillips screwdriver, or actually I've got a drill, I'm just going to with my driver real quick and pop those out. Now this is also attached to the window. There's a clip, a metal clip right here, and you can just kind of pull on that. If it's a little hard on your hands, get some gloves, or you can even get some pliers. But you loosen that clip up, and then the arm just comes right off the window itself. Let's pop these screws out. Right on the inside is the part number C9400A-1, And I actually have linked to this part down in the video description so you can find this. I'll link to the actual arm as well, or hand crank as well, if you want to go ahead and if you need a replacement for that. But that's all there is to popping this out. Here's my old crank. Here is my new one. So we're going to do the replacement. Not the easiest to see, but you'll notice as I am turning the piece where the handle is, you'll notice I'm turning it with my fingers and the gears are not turning. So either the bottom of this is stripped or some part of that gear is stripped. It partially turns, but that's the problem with this particular unit. So I'm setting this guy down and my holes are matching up. I do want to make sure that my arm is going the right direction as the other one. So I'm going to use my existing handle and we're going to bend this back the way it was. I'm going to make sure that my arm connects back onto the window. Put my clip in. Let's go ahead and reinsert our screws. So let's go ahead and pop my handle back on and let's just do a quick test here. Make sure that everything's working. Looks to crank closed. So we're going to open it back up so we can finish putting the wood back on. And just to let you know, you can use this crank arm for windows that are going to open to the left or windows that are going to open to the right. When you use the handle to turn the arm actually goes 180 degrees. So you just turn it to whatever angle you need it and then go ahead and attach it to your window. And if this video is helping you out, take a second, smash that like button as I greatly appreciate it. So we're going to try and make it look like we were never here. I'm lining up my nail holes and I'm just going to see if I can get those nails inserted right back in. Haha, we are lined up. Go ahead and press this down. I'm going to give this a couple of light taps with a crowbar. I mean, you could use a hammer. Doesn't really matter. I'm just using a towel so I don't scrape anything up. Next, I'm going to go ahead and put my screen back in. Had the chance to clean the screen. So much nicer. We're going to pop this back in. Be sure to check out the other maintenance videos I've done on this channel, including fixing a garbage disposal, installing a ceiling fan, and best ways to clean a ceiling fan. When was the last time you guys cleaned your ceiling fans? Whew. Alright, our screen is back installed. Pop our cover back on. Let's go ahead and put our handle back on, and then I'm going to tighten that screw underneath. Let's test this puppy out. Alright. So let me know how the project went for you down in the comments section below. Leave me a quick note about how things went. Again, links to everything in this video that I talked about are going to be down in the video description. My name is Jeff. As always, I appreciate you watching. Be sure to make every day awesome, and I will see you in the next video.